It's June 25th and it's time for the latest update. I'm going to take you around the garden and show you how everything is doing. So from a carrot bed, I planted around 900 carrots and I hand seeded them 2 inches apart, and I got about 80 to 90% germination rate. So I've got, I don't know, 800 carrots in here, and they are about a week away from being picked. I've had them, they germinated about 60 days ago, and it's 70 days to harvest. So they are about ready. Right now I've got those carrots about as thick as my thumb. And there's my thumb. So let me show you the advantage of growing your crops as close together as possible. I have no weed pressure at all in here. In fact, here's one of my carrots, doing really well. Hard to see right there. A lot of them are like that right now. And you can see everything is so dense in here. There's really very little weed pressure at all. Excuse my finger. So I don't really have to bother weeding this. The carrots take care of the weeds for the most part. So these are the two beds that I had my peas in, and it was time to get rid of them. They were hardly producing at all, and the bottom leaves were dying off, so it was time to pull them up. And I have radishes planted here and over there along each side of the bed. Over in that bed I planted beets, and I used row cover on that because what I want to do is keep the soil moist, and I want to get as much germination as possible. I planted about 340 seeds, and you don't want to let the soil dry out because you take the risk of a seed that's germinating. If the soil dries out, then the seed will die off too. So I want to keep those nice and wet under there, and that's what that row cover will do for it. I'm growing a lot of pepper this year. These are my hot peppers in this bed. They will grow faster than the other ones, my green sweet peppers. But you notice the netting now. I had a video on when I put these in the beds, how I put the netting up. But you see how they're growing up through the netting, and the netting will support these as they get taller. The only thing I need to do is when they grow, as they come up through here, is move them around a little bit, get some leaves, get these leaves up above the netting so they grow nice, and then the netting stays down here and everything grows up through there nice and neat, and that netting will give them a lot of support as they get taller. Some of my peppers, my sweet peppers last year, got over 4 feet tall, and you just have to have some support when they get that tall for when you get high winds and heavy rain coming through. And my bell peppers are doing well too. They are finally breaking the top, and here's an example. You just want to get the top of that plant off the netting so it doesn't get all bunched up under there. I have large red, gold, yellow, orange, and green peppers in these two beds, and I'm still 6 to 8 weeks away from getting any peppers out of there. However, my hot peppers over here have started to flower. I've got some flowers over here, right there, and a few on that one right there. If you watched this previous video, you saw that I had lettuce in here, and I had these plants 2 inches apart, and I put 3 or 4 seeds in each, and I cut these last week. Well, I just went along the top here with a knife and cut right there at the edge, top edge, so I left a couple inches on the plant. Now these aren't growing back, but all these are. And I'm going to take 2 or 3 cuttings off of this before I'm done with it. I gotta water that. And the tomatoes are doing really well. The tall ones here in the front are cherry and pear tomatoes. The ones back there are beefsteak. I had been going with big beef, but they're a hybrid, and I wanted to go with an heirloom tomato, a large tomato this year, so I did the big beef. And they're doing pretty good. I have a problem with suckers, and these suckers on these grow really fast, and I end up with 2 offshoots. Here's one. That was a sucker, so I got 2 stems here, and I don't like that. I just want one stem, so I have to figure out which one's the sucker and clip off the growth head on it. What happens if I don't stay on this every couple of days, they develop plants, they develop flowers, and I don't want to lose these tomatoes, so I cut off the growth head and leave these here like they are. But you have to really stay on top of these, otherwise you get the suckers going and it becomes a mess, and I don't want these all to get really bushy and all that. It gets harder to work with them and see what's going on and look for more suckers. The container lettuce is doing well. This one right here, I have 5 rows, and 2 rows, the outside rows are lettuce, and down the center is spinach. This one over here is just spinach. I planted about half an inch, 3/4 inch apart. This lettuce, in a previous video, I talked about how I did these in really concentrated rows. I just drew 3 rows down this and just sprinkled seeds in, so these are really densely planted. This one right here, the round one, I did holes every 2 inches all around the planter, and I put 3 or 4 seeds in each one of those, so those are densely planted, but not as densely as this one. This one I just did every 2 inches, but I think I only planted 1 seed in each. And then this one right here, I've got spinach, 1 seed every 2 inches. That didn't come out very well, so I'm not going to do that again, but it looks like I need to water this stuff. In this little bed, which won't last probably till the end of this season because the tree is going to grow over it, I have some long-necked pumpkins, and these are native to this area of south central Pennsylvania. The Amish grow these, and these things get big. These long-necked pumpkins can get 3 feet long and about 15 pounds. So I'm thinking I'm going to get a little long-necked pumpkin out of this. And then I left my garlic plant in there because it's going to seed. I don't want to collect those seeds maybe in a couple weeks or so, and then use that to grow more garlic this fall. This is turning out to be a multiple use bed. I have Brussels sprouts there, and I have potatoes right here. And the potatoes are left over from last year that I apparently didn't get out of the bed, because this was one of my 2 potato boxes. But I clipped off the bottom leaves here, and you can see there's some Brussels sprouts right there, right there, right there. What they do is they grow outside, right there in the joint of the leaf. Where's my finger? There's my finger. Right there in the leaf and the stalk. So that's a little Brussels sprout growing. And those, what happens is the plant grows, you keep clipping off those leaves, and the Brussels sprouts will develop. Now here I've got potatoes. I don't know how these are going to do or how much I'm going to get out of these, but I'm leaving them in. And I've got some leftover lettuce in here too that I just didn't get out of the bed. So I'm going to get Brussels sprouts, maybe a couple more pieces of lettuce, and some potatoes out of that. And this is my potato bed, my full-time potato bed, and you can see it's flowering. I have flowers right here. What'll happen is they will flower really well, and a week or 2 after that the greens will start to fall over and die off, and that will be the time to harvest my potatoes. Last year in one bed I got, I think it was about 20 pounds of potatoes out of this bed and 20 out of the other one. So I'm going to wait for that, and once they are done I will be putting Brussels sprouts in here for a fall harvest. Green beans are doing really well. They've started to flower. I haven't got a lot, but some have flowered and are starting to develop some beans. There's some beans on that one right there. See a couple more, but I planted about 700 seeds in here, and a good majority of them came up. So I'm thinking I'm going to get 30 to 40 pounds of green beans out of this bed. And once I'm done with these, in about 3 weeks, I take about a week to harvest as much as I can, and then I'm done. I pull them out and I plant something else. So that's the latest update. As always, if the information on my videos is helpful, please subscribe to my channel. If you like this video in particular, please give it a like. I will be back soon with more stuff. Bye-bye.